Today's speaker, Parker Stoner, is here to explain the keys to success and share tips for improving the effectiveness of your email marketing program. His presentation will cover list building and maintenance, content, design, measurement, and other aspects of email marketing. Parker Stoner has been a marketing professional for more than 35 years, specializing in marketing strategy, research and analytics, and direct marketing. He is the Senior Vice President, Director of Database Marketing at Swanson Russell, the largest Nebraska-based marketing communications agency. Parker has written more than 10 guides on topics including email marketing, communications campaign measurement, and customer bonding. He is author of The Marketing and Communication Manager's Guide to Email Marketing and Put Your Mouth Where the Money Is, a great book that explains how to refocus your marketing communications for the greatest impact on sales. And so please help me welcome Parker. And you Swanson Russell folks, get your cards ready so you know the right one in school.
One caution I'll throw out in advance. A few days ago, I did a practice run through of the presentation in front of my wife, Juanita. And when I finished, it ran a little bit longer than I'd hoped it would. And I said, there's this one part I could take out of this, make it shorter. What do you think? And she said, no, keep it in. That was very interesting. I thought that was good. In fact, I really enjoyed your whole presentation. I thought it was very good. So I've kept that in. Now I'm a little suspicious of her motives because her birthday is coming up, Valentine's Day is coming up, but we'll let you be the judge of the presentation. But I'll try to keep a fast pace, get us through quickly, keep up tempo and all. As Jerry mentioned, I'm the author of the book Put Your Mouth Where the Money Is. And I wrote that book about 7-8 years ago for two primary reasons. One was to help marketers better focus their communications resources on things that would be of greatest value to themselves and to their audiences and help drive revenues. And the second reason was that I like being able to use the phrase, my book, when I come and present to groups like this. The basic premise of my book is that most audiences don't really trust the claims made by marketers in their brand advertising. What do they trust? Well, their own experiences with a brand or product. And if they don't have those, they'll trust recommendations from people they know, friends, family, and so on. And then sometimes experts or other people that have independent views appear not to be biased at all. And so what I encourage marketers to do is refocus their marketing dollars away from traditional brand claim advertising, more to things that will help enhance the brand or product experience for customers and prospective customers, and also to communicate more with their current enthusiastic customers and encourage them to spread positive word of mouth. Well, email marketing can be a great tool for doing both of those things, because when you think about it, people sign up for your emails, they have certain expectations then. And if you're providing them with good content, information that's helpful to them, that's a great experience. I heard somebody mention earlier kind of the deceptive emails and things like that. If you sign up for emails and that's what you get, that's a bad experience. And you definitely don't want that. So again, email can be so valuable to help build that relationship, build that experience. Before we turn to some of the keys to success, I wanted to go through a few things that explain why email marketing is so effective. The Direct Marketing Association has done a study every other year for the last 2 decades, And they've asked their members, which of the tools that you use give you the best return on investment? What sort of return do you get? And every time they've done the study, email marketing has come out on top, far ahead of anything else in terms of the return on dollars invested. A company called Merkle did a study a few years ago called View from the Digital Inbox. And they started by asking adult consumers, when it comes to personal communications from friends, family members, people you know, what's your preferred method of receiving those communications? And you can see here that telephone came out on top at 37%, email 31%, text messaging and social networking had quite a bit of strength as well, and even a little bit of instant messaging. Then they went on to ask that same question regarding commercial communications from companies, from organizations that you want to hear from. What's your preferred method? And you can see that the answers were quite different. Telephone dropped all the way down to 4%. Email, though, shot up to 73%, so almost 3/4 of people were saying we'd prefer to receive that type of communications through email. Text messaging dropped way down, 1%. Social networks, 2%. Instant messaging, nothing. Direct mail actually jumped up quite a bit to 17% and had a presence. Now, whenever I present these results, sometimes people will say, well, that study is from 2011. It's 2016 now. Haven't things changed? Text messaging, social networking, those things have evolved. They're more prevalent. And what about younger audiences? Aren't they more into text messaging and social networking rather than email? Well, fortunately, the Principal Financial Group did a study recently, just last year, among millennials, and they asked them, what's your preferred method of contact with companies? And 46% said email, so far and away the leading choice. This study also included an in-person option, and that came out fairly strong at 28%. Social media, online chat, text messaging, yeah, it was a little bit stronger than those other studies, but not that different. So again, people want to hear from companies through email, and it provides them with good return on investment. So those are good, solid reasons to use it. So let's move on to some of the keys to success in email marketing. And I'll present 7 of these today. The first one is one that you may not have that much control over. It's your brand or organization's role in the audience's lives. Are you Apple, offering computers, iPhones, iPads, devices that are very important to us? Or are you Acme with paper clips that maybe just don't play that big a role? If you're Apple or you're Amazon or Toyota or you're a favorite restaurant of people, you've got kind of a built-in advantage because people are likely to want to hear from you, whether it's through email or other tools. Not so much for Acme and paper clips. I don't know that people are that anxious to sign up. Doesn't mean Acme can't do effective email marketing, but it does mean they're starting at a big disadvantage and they have to probably work a lot harder to do effective email. So understand where your company, your brand is coming from and the role it plays and what you have to accomplish. Let's talk a little bit more about what things you can have more control over. One is an active measurement and testing program. And when I was preparing for this presentation, I'd recently seen the newest Star Wars movie, so that gave me a little bit of inspiration here. And the comment I'll make is that a testing program is the one surefire way of continuously improving the effectiveness of your email. You need a systematic program to test things like subject lines, design, layout, calls to action, and other things. I do encourage you to work with and utilize somebody that understands the statistical principles and science behind testing so that you're sure that when you do tests that you have valid results and know how to interpret them and what they mean. When it comes, marketers tend to love email for a variety of reasons, one of which is it's so measurable. There's so much data that comes from it. And I like to think in terms of two types of measurement. Process metrics, which are kind of diagnostic measures, generally connected to individual email messages. So it show, things are like open rate, click-through rate, bounce rate are examples. And then there's outcome metrics. These are the things related to the overall success of your program, the goals that you want to accomplish, and how you really measure the effectiveness. So things like sales generated, product trial, customer retention, and satisfaction are included there. When you're looking at process metrics and individual emails, I encourage you to look at the deepest levels of engagement possible. So rather than just looking at open rates and judging the effectiveness of an email based on the opens, I'd rather look at clicks or even conversions. It's steps further along the process of what you're hoping to accomplish with people. So all three are valuable, but just the further down the funnel you can look, I think the better off you'll be. Now, don't answer this yet, but question. True or false, the open rate, which is really the most widely used metric in email, is the percentage of recipients who opened your email message. Who thinks they know the answer to that? And you don't answer yet, but anybody think they know the answer? Anyone that doesn't work with me? You got a 50-50 chance. You'll take a shot. Okay, since this is the first question of the day, I think maybe a little bit of a prize or incentive is deserved for this. You agree with that,
a big
Kurt?
prize.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Kurt. Here's the deal. If you answer the question correctly, you get a free copy of my book, Put Your Mouth Where the Money Is. But if you answer incorrectly, you have to take 2 copies of the book. Okay? All right. So what's your answer?
False.
False. And why is that?
Preview modules and email inboxes.
Okay? Yes. That contributes to it. And the other thing is that opens are only recorded if somebody downloads the images from the email. So this example here, and it may be a little hard for you to tell, but there's a lot of text in it. And when I opened it, I didn't download the images. You see the little X's up there where the images are. You can read, I got a lot of value out of this and can read some of the text, but even though I opened this message, it wasn't an open that was recorded. Because there's a little tracking pixel that's included, and that's what tracks opens. So the open rate, even though it's the most widely used metric, is really an imperfect metric. And that's one of the reasons I encourage people to not try to compare your open rates to those of so-called industry averages, because you don't know what the circumstances were. That other people may be opening emails, more likely to download images than the audience you're trying to reach. There's too much question there. But the open rate is very useful for a couple of purposes. It's useful to compare open rates for your various email messages. So if you've been getting an open rate of, say, 25% for most of your messages, and then all of a sudden you send out a message and it's 15% open rate, that may tell you something there. It may say that subject wasn't of that much interest. Maybe you've got deliverability problems. Something's going on there and you would want to investigate that a little bit. Another great use of the open metric, and that's really underutilized, is what I call top domains analysis. And domains are like yahoo.com, gmail.com, the services through which people get your emails. Also private domains like swansonrussell.com that I get my business email through. And what I'm going to show you here is an example from one of our clients. I'm not going to reveal the client name or show the email, but I'll walk you through the analysis and what it can reveal. This is a client in the professional turf industry, and they sell their products through a network of distributors to landscape contractors. And we weren't working with them on their emails. They were doing these on their own, but they asked us to come in, take a look at what they were doing, provide any suggestions. And we looked at a lot of their different emails, and I looked at one in particular that was a new product introduction email to about 250 distributors. And it had an open rate of 36.6%. And the client was very happy with that, thought everything was going great, and then along I come to kind of rain on their parade. Some of you that have worked with me know that I have a tendency to do that at times. In looking at that, with an average of 36.6%, I might have expected that at individual domains like Yahoo or Gmail or private domains that maybe you would have seen open rates as low as 25%, maybe as high as 50%. So, around that 36.6% range either side. But that's not what we saw. You can see here that there was wide variation here. You had some great successes like Distributor C, where it was 72.2% open rate, so double the average. And Distributor D was also very strong. But what really stands out here is Distributor E, our client's largest distributor. They sent messages to 53 people there, 0 opens. So, what's going on here? Why would there be 0 opens there? Anybody have any thoughts on why that might be? Spam?
Incorrect. Something in the email address was incorrect. Maybe they didn't make it.
That could be.
Like in the domain name or something.
Could be. Yeah. Any?
The IT department blocked the domain.
Some blocking, yeah. All of those things could have been some, spammy words that, they put Viagra in the subject line or something like that. That might have caused some problems. We were able to look at the situation and uncover the problem. I'll tell you a little bit later what we discovered. Moving on, next key to success is the subscriber list, how it's obtained and maintained. And what you want to do here is balance quantity and quality. Certainly there's a desire to build your email list, to grow that. The more people you have on your list, the more people will see your message, the more revenue you can potentially drive. And let's face it, it doesn't cost that much more to add each additional person to an email list and send them emails. Email is pretty inexpensive in that regard. But you need quality. You need people that will engage with your messages, that will open them, that will click on them, that will file them away and save them. You need good engagement, and I'll touch on that a little bit more as to why. But what you want to do is make it easy for people to sign up for your emails, those that really want to receive them, but don't force them or trick them. Don't use pre-checked boxes on your sign-up forms. Don't force somebody to opt in for your emails in order to download a white paper or to register for your contest or sweepstakes. Make it optional by all means, but don't force them. If you do, what can happen is they may give you a false email address, in which case when you try to send to them, the email will bounce. That looks bad for you. They may give you a secondary email address that they only use for contests and sweepstakes. I bet some of the people here do that as well, and then they never check it, and so people won't engage. At best, the emails will come in and they'll ignore them and not do anything with them if they really didn't want to sign up for them. So give people reasons why they should sign up and then deliver on that. Okay, what prevents emails from being delivered to the primary inboxes? What are some of the things? Anybody that, what causes emails to get blocked or get sent to junk folders? Anybody?
The words that are used in it?
Can be, the words. Yeah, I'm sorry?
There's an image, our service told us that there's sometimes an image embedded that can it's more likely to be rejected.
That's right, yes.
Sometimes the size of an email might be blocked.
Okay, that's all of those things are true. And most of those things, particularly the spammy words and images, still are a factor now and can be, but that's changed from what it used to be. Now the number one factor on whether your emails get delivered to the primary inbox is your engagement metrics. Are the people that you're sending to opening them and clicking on them and reading them at a good rate? What will happen is that Yahoo or Gmail will look at emails coming from swansonrussell.com. And if a lot of people are opening at a high rate, clicking, maybe filing away and saving the messages, they'll say, oh, emails from Swanson Russell must be good. They must be important to people and have good content. Our people want to receive their emails, so we're going to make sure they get delivered to their primary inbox. But if people aren't clicking and opening our emails at a good rate, Yahoo will say, those emails from Swanson Russell must not be of much value. Our people don't want to receive them. They may not have good email practices. We're going to funnel them to the junk folder. Or maybe we'll even block them. And what happens is that if you've recruited and gotten a lot of people to sign up for your emails that aren't going to engage with your emails because they weren't that interested, it may hurt your ability to deliver messages to those people that really do want to receive them. So again, engagement metrics are the key determinant now, and the services like Yahoo, Gmail are enhancing their algorithms that decide what gets placed in primary inboxes or funneled to junk folders. Okay, next key to success is email content and frequency of delivery. Why do people unsubscribe from emails? What's the number one reason? Too many emails, that's right. So when it comes to frequency, you definitely don't want too much, because the more you do overkill, the more likely they are to opt out. But you also don't want too little frequency, because people have signed up for your emails. They're expecting something from you, and you need to deliver that to them. And you want a presence there. If you're only trying to send emails once or twice a year to them, you'll probably be forgotten. So at least have enough frequency to keep a presence. And the desired frequency is going to vary by audience member. It's also going to vary again by who you are and the role you play in the audience's lives. What's the second leading reason why people unsubscribe from email?
Were they never on the list in the first place?
No, that happens. That can happen too, that they never signed up in the first place. The interest. What you're sending them doesn't interest them. any longer. The content's not relevant. So you need to be sure to deliver the most relevant content possible to each subscriber. It's not what you want to say to people, it's what they want to hear, what they're expecting to receive from you. Next key to success, design. And there's a lot of aspects of design that I could cover today. I know a lot of you mentioned subject lines, and I did have a little section on subject lines, but I didn't think it would be that valuable, so I took that out, and I thought I'd cover a few things that you might find a little more interesting. Pre-headers, use them. Does everybody know what a pre-header is? No? Okay. Most emails, when you open them, will have a header graphic near the top, generally a graphic. Well, the pre-header is text that goes above that header graphic. And the reason that's so valuable, especially now in the age of mobile, is that pre-headers will show up in inboxes along with subject lines. Not everywhere, but definitely on mobile devices, some other email clients, they'll show up. This is a shot from my iPhone inbox. And for example, the first one at the top, the sender was Wolverine. The subject line, flash sale 4 days only. And then the pre-header text, free shipping, free returns every day, limited time flash sale. Shop now if you're not having, and then it gets cut off. But a couple things to notice there. There's only one line available for the subject line, but it's giving you 2 lines of pre-header text there. So you can work a lot more characters that will display from your pre-header than your subject line there. And so that pre-header can really help give people more reasons why they should open your email. And then if you compare the ones I have up there, Wolverine, Best Buy, Overstock.com, they all did a fairly good use of the pre-header. They gave me additional value there, additional reasons to open their message. Not so with Ranger Boats and Sundance. Ranger, it's if you no longer wish to receive future emails, click here. So they're inviting me right there to unsubscribe from them. That's not helping me decide that I want to open the message. In fact, it's a disincentive. And Sundance TV with the subject line, Sundance TV's spring lineup, Hap and Leon. And so from that, I don't know exactly what they're talking about. The pre-header could have helped elaborate, given me more information, more reason to open, but instead it's a very boring view in web browser. Be sure to add no reply. So not making good, effective use of pre-headers. So definitely a very valuable tool that's now available for email marketers. Okay. I work with a great group of people at Swanson Russell. They introduced themselves earlier, and so I wanted to, in this part of the presentation, recognize them definitely and get their participation a little bit here. And as I say that, they're probably wondering, okay, what's he going to do? He's going to embarrass us here. What's going on? When it comes to, yeah, they might. Yeah, that would help. When it comes to graphics, as has kind of been mentioned, graphics can cause you problems, but they are a great resource. Graphics help enhance emails and add value to them, but not everybody that opens your email will see the graphics. The percentages vary quite widely in terms of what percent of people are opening emails with and without graphics downloaded. I hear sometimes percents as high as 60% or so. So you need to develop emails that work effectively even if the graphics don't display. But again, graphics can definitely enhance the emails, but if you overdo it, it can cause you deliverability problems. Too high a graphics to text ratio can raise your spam score and may help contribute to not being able to deliver your emails. One of the things that some marketers suggest doing and asking about is doing an email that's basically one solid graphic. This is something from Ranger Boats. They're not one of our clients, but you see here that it's a solid graphic with the message there. And I want to ask my folks here, is this something we would recommend to our clients?
No,
And why is that?
because if they don't have images loaded, all they're going to see is if you no longer wish to receive future emails.
So something like that?
Yes.
Okay. And sure, people that are real fans of Ranger will probably go ahead and download the images because they'll want to see that. But a lot of people won't. And why make people work harder to get value out of the message that you're doing? The other thing about this, remember the example I mentioned earlier, our client that had sent an email to the one distributor, 53 sends, 0 opens? What our investigation led to was that the reason they weren't able to get any opens and get delivered was they were sending emails that were all one graphic. And it was easy to check and verify because they'd done several emails that were all one graphic, and all of those had 0 or 1 open at that distributor. But they'd done some other emails that were nice blends of text and graphic, and those were getting through just fine, having decent open rates. That won't, having one whole graphic won't cause you to be blocked everywhere. Certainly many of us get emails of that type, but it can certainly cause problems some places. And why do you want to cause yourself problems? People have signed up for your emails. You want to be able to get your messages through to those people that have signed up. Okay, one other aspect of design, calls to action. You should feature your primary call to action in multiple places and ways. The call to action is really what you want people to do, so I encourage you to present it near the top of the email, so somebody that as soon as they open it, if they already know they want to take the next action, they can quickly do so. But also present it near the bottom of the email. If you've got a longer message, maybe in the middle, so as people are reading along, being convinced that they want to take your action, that they can easily do so. And you want to be sure to present that primary call to action as both a graphic and as text, because you don't want to do it just as a graphic, because if images aren't downloaded, they'll never be able to see that call to action and be able to take that. But the graphic, for those that do display it, can really call attention to that call to action, so it's good to do that, but always have it as a text link as well. Another design element, mobile aware. Use mobile aware design. And there's a lot of ways you can accomplish this, but a couple of key things. Use larger text so it's easier to read on mobile. Use clickable buttons. Use simple layouts and formats. Single column formats work best with mobile because depending on your audience, anywhere from 1/3 to 2/3 of your audience are probably opening your emails on mobile devices. So you need to cater to them, give them a good experience. Okay, 6th key to success is the post-click experience. I encourage you not to look at your emails in isolation. Think about what's going to happen when somebody clicks on your call to action and goes somewhere. If you've offered them a white paper or encouraging them to click to view a video or something, you want to take them someplace where they can easily continue on with that action. You don't want to take them someplace where they land on a very crowded page, have trouble finding what you've offered them. So it's really all about landing pages, having good, effective landing pages. And one of the things I stress is don't look at the email in isolation. Think through to the post-click experience. Even though we may not be handling the website ourselves, I try to tell our folks, you still have responsibility for that post-click experience. Make sure that it's going to be a good one. If not, talk to whoever is managing the website, and let's see what we can do to make that a better experience. Last key to success, your attitude regarding communicating with and serving the audience. And I really think this is the most important of all of these keys to success, because it influences all of the other ones. Do you take the attitude that, okay, now we've got your email address and now we can blast out email messages to you as often as we want, about whatever we want, as frequently as desired, and because email is a great weapon? Or do you take the attitude that it's, thank you for signing up for our emails. We're going to do everything we can to provide you with very valuable content that you'll find rewarding, that will be a good or great experience for you and will help solidify your relationship with the brand. Are you, going back to some of the things I covered, are you building your list simply to add numbers, knowing that may hurt your deliverability to the people that really want your emails? Are you designing your messages so that it appeals to what you want to do, but it may not render well with some of your recipients, or it may cause deliverability problems? Do you make your calls to action convenient, easy to use and handle? One of the things that I try to do with every email is to ask, what can we do to make this email more useful, more valuable for more of the people that we're sending it to? And I really try to stress that and do whatever we can. That, to me, is kind of the ultimate in improving the effectiveness of email. When it comes to marketing communications, whether it's advertising or social media or public relations or email, I really believe that we should be striving to provide communications that enhance people's lives or help them obtain products, services, and experiences that will enhance their lives. It's not about just pumping out the message that we want to. We should be trying to serve people and build strong relationships with them and give them a great experience. So those are the 7 keys. Just as a quick recap, it's the role that your company or brand plays in people's lives, measurement and testing program, the list, quantity and quality, the content that you're providing, the design, the post-click experience, and your attitude your attitude regarding the communications and serving of people. And I know this is the point where I'm supposed to provide you with a nice acronym that will be easy to remember, so you can remember all this, and here it is, REML-CD-PA. I hope that helps. I'll be glad to take any questions.